Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how I make a red lentil pizza crust. Also, I'm going to share a cheese recipe with you that you can use on your pizza. And here we go. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed, if you would like to receive more plant-based inspiration. And if you enjoy this video or find it helpful, hit the like button. It really helps out with my channel. So, as I mentioned, this is a red lentil pizza crust, so naturally I got some red lentils here. Now, they have to be the split red lentils, and I found these on Amazon. I'm going to link the ones below that I used. And we're going to be using some water, as well as some onion powder, some ground oregano, also some basil. These are all ground spices and seasonings, as I'm sure you can see. Some garlic powder and some black pepper. And even though it doesn't show here, I highly recommend either using pink salt or using sea salt. Now, you don't have to if you're salt-free, but I think this crust tastes better with some added salt. So it's a cup, or 3/4 a cup lentils, 3/4 a cup water, and you just put it in the blender. And I'll leave the measurements below for everything. Add your seasonings in there as well, and then you just blend it up, and then it's ready to go. It's very, very, very simple. Just literally blending it. That's why I love, I gotta have simple. So get some parchment paper and lay it out across your baking sheet. I end up trimming this down so it wasn't, hanging over the sides as much. And then I just take, excuse me, the scoop, I scoop it out onto the parchment paper. And then a lot of it gets stuck in the bottom of the blender. Please ignore my mountain of laundry in the background. Those are all clean clothes. They're just not folded clothes. So comment below if you have that same problem. So I'm putting the crust and its little, batter consistency on the parchment paper. And I just use a spoon and kind of make a circle shape. And the idea here is to get it as thin as possible, not leaving any little holes in it, and just trying to get it even. Not necessarily as thin as possible. We want it to be even so it will bake even. I've got the temperature set to 450. And so it's obviously been preheating. And I'm going to put it in the oven at 450, and I'm going to set the timer for 12 minutes. So it's really not in there for that long. So 12 minutes on one side, and then I'll show you what we do here in a minute to complete it. I'm going to make some cheese. I didn't make my regular cheese sauce that I usually use here. I used kind of the same ingredients. We got nutritional yeast, lemon juice, some minced garlic, some soy sauce, some cannellini beans, some pink salt, and we use some arrowroot powder. Now, my regular cheese recipe that I use doesn't have the arrowroot powder. It doesn't have the lemon juice, and it has like apple cider vinegar. Anyways, this is the one I chose to use today, and so my crust got done. For the first side of it, right, because it's got to bake on both sides. So that 12 minutes is up, and this is actually really easy to peel off the parchment paper, but I'm using one hand because I'm also filming with the other. So that's why it looks like it's taking a long time, but I promise it pulls right off. So once you flip it over, you leave it in there, put it in the oven for an additional 5 minutes. And, make your cheese sauce while that is cooking. So same thing with the cheese sauce. It's just all going to go in the blender. There's my nutritional yeast, my white beans, and all the other ingredients that I showed you earlier. Blend it up to a smooth consistency. Now, this particular cheese recipe has you heat it up. And it's got the arrowroot powder in it, which can create a really starchy-like consistency. So it has to be continuously stirred, or it will completely mess it up. So just make sure you keep stirring. And then once it warms up and gets a little thicker, we can move it off to the side and let it cool down, which is where we're at now. So it looks kind of like queso, right? So for my sauce for my pizza, I'm literally just using some tomato paste and some water. So I put the tomato paste and some water in a bowl, and this just helps to kind of thin it out and help it spread better over the crust. And then just stir it up. This is way more than I actually needed to use, and I'm going to chop up my veggies. So my veggies of choice for the pizza today are going to be yellow bell pepper. I love peppers. I love the smell of fresh peppers. Red and orange and yellow are my favorite. I was trying to get all the different colors here on my pizza. And so I've already got tomato from the tomato sauce, right? So I'm like, well, let me do a yellow pepper for just some of those yellow benefits. They say eat the rainbow because each color represents a different vitamin, mineral. So yellow peppers it is. I'm going to use a few other things too, but nothing else required me to chop it up. I've got my tomato paste sauce here, and so I'm spreading it out. Again, I'm using one hand, so and I'm just gonna put it all in the center and then leave a thin line or for where the crust is. Taking my cheese sauce that has cooled, and of course it doesn't have to look super glamorous, and I put some spinach on top as well as some mushrooms, and you see my peppers there, just kind of putting everything where it has room. And yeah, so what I'll do after you put all your toppings on and your cheese, I put another layer of cheese on top. Then it's going to be ready to go back into the oven, still at 450, for just an additional 5 minutes. So plop it back in the oven, and yeah, there we go. That's actually it after it came out after the oven. I got my pizza cutter here, and I'm just cutting it. It's super easy to cut as well. It's very manageable, very easy. My expectation was, oh, the crust is not going to peel off the parchment paper. Well, it actually did. And so this is, again, to me, the easiest crust ever to make. Super easy. It's oil-free, wholesome ingredients. Here's the pizza. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So yeah, again, my suggestion would be to add some salt if you are not salt-free to your crust, because it brings out the flavors a little more. And here's a little outdoor shot for you as well. This was very good. We actually made red lentil crust pizza like 3 times within a week. The baby loved it, so this is great for kids too. And here's me taking the first bite. I was just happy that I got all the veggies on top, because when I make it for Berkeley, my daughter, she doesn't want the veggies on top. And so I made my own here, and I got to have my veggie. So I'll link the recipe below so you guys can try this on your own. If you guys are on Instagram, go check me out. I post what I eat every single day. I also post often throughout the week what my 3-year-old eats, because we're a fully vegan family. So yeah, come check me out. I'm also on TikTok. If you guys would like to support my channel further, you can always go to buymeacoffee.com. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Bye.